Okay, guys, you want to talk about some stupid crap? Here we go. Let's talk about it. Apparently, uh, okay, we're going to start at the beginning, we're going to jump to the end, and then I'll talk about everything that happened in between. That's how I'm going to do this. At the beginning of the show, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are out there talking about how great it's going to be and how great the main event of WrestleMania is going to be under one condition. Well, Becky has to go to the doctor, is what they said. And she went to the doctor, so let's have her out here to tell us how it went. And so Becky comes out and she says that she's good to go. Doctors say I'm good to go. And then Trip and Steph, they say, well, that's all great that the doctors say you're good to go, and we say you're good to go too under one condition: you have to apologize. You have to apologize to us, or else the match is off. And she doesn't do it straight away, right? She doesn't do it. She says she's not going to do it, and they're like, "Why would you not do that? That's ridiculous that you wouldn't do that." We'll just here. If you feel like we're making you, we'll give you the choice, and then you can tell us at the end of the show what your choice is, right? So that's how they decide that they're going to do it. And at the end of the show, throughout the show, Becky is getting advice from random people saying, do it, don't do it. Ronda comes out and says that you should do it. It's going to be a really big match. I want to fight you. You want to fight me. The only reason you wouldn't go out and apologize is because you're scared. And then Alexa comes out and says, don't do it. And obviously, Becky sees right through that, says, that's just because you want my spot at WrestleMania. The spot that I would be giving up by not being there, you want it. So that's why you don't want me to do it, right? And so she sees through all that garbage, and she comes out eventually at the end of the show, and she decides, like, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm real sorry. She comes out, she apologizes, and then she's like, all right, now that nonsense, is what she says, is over with, now nobody's messing with my title shot, right? That's all said and done. And Steph and Trip are like, yep, you're good. We don't, we're good. You get your title shot. And then Vince comes out he says, like, guess what? What they said doesn't count. Becky, you think you're bigger than WWE, and I can't have that. So you were suspended for 60 days. That takes you out of being able to be in the WrestleMania match. And so we got to have somebody else do it. And he brings out Charlotte Flair. And he's like, Charlotte's going to beat Becky. And he actually raises Charlotte's hand and everything. And Charlotte's going to beat Becky, excuse me. Charlotte's going to beat Ronda. He says Charlotte will beat Ronda. He comes out and he lifts Charlotte's hand. I mean, we all know what's going to happen here, right? Like, either it's going to be a one-on-one match and it's going to be Becky versus Ronda, or it's going to be a triple threat and Charlotte will be involved. We've all kind of been aware that they're kind of bouncing around with that, which one it's going to be right now. Like, we're all kind of aware of that. But, like, the way we're going to get there was, like, the interesting part, right? Like, ultimately how it all ends up, that's going to be interesting. That'll be interesting to watch. But, like, the way we're going to get there, it's the road to WrestleMania. That's what we're on right now. And the road is now just one I feel like we've walked 100 times before. I know that I've been comparing Becky Lynch and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's a very kind of in vogue thing to do right now. It makes sense, right? But here's the thing. That doesn't mean that they need to, like, do exactly what they did with Steve Austin and have Becky feuding with Authority the whole time. And come on. I mean, like, and now they're going to take her out of the match, and it's just like you can see everything that's going to happen for the next month and a half now at this point. And I'm a little frustrated by it, as I'm sure you can see. I'm sure you're probably frustrated by it, right? I mean, what self-respecting wrestling fan is not at least a little bit put off by this? Positives, it could go over well. It's not like they can't make it fun to watch. I just was expecting more. WWE Creative has gone and just proven that it's an oxymoron. Not a whole lot creative going on at WWE. It's just a bummer. Like I said, I'm not here upset because I don't think that she's, or because I don't like somehow I don't know that she'll ultimately be involved in the match. I do. I know that. I understand that. I was hoping it would go a little differently than this. Anyway, back to the things that did happen in the match. We had a 3-team tag match for the women. The loser of which will be one of 2 teams that enters Elimination Chamber first. And so we already kind of know. I mean, we do know. We know who's involved in Elimination Chamber at this point. This match was good. You know, it wasn't. It certainly was. It was far from a bad match. Let's just say that. But again, I don't. The stakes don't seem very high to me. I feel like we're getting it broadcast to us pretty early on here that Sasha and Bailey, excuse me, I almost called Sasha Bailey and then said Banks. Anyway, Sasha and Bailey are probably going to win that belt. It seems like it's kind of written in the cards right now. They're trying to make them out to be big underdogs. They're going to have to start first. That's what happened. Bailey got pinned, and Sasha got potatoed again. It seems like I think like 3 matches in a row or something like that, where Sasha hasn't actually finished the match on her feet at all, and Bailey in a couple of them has come out the conquering hero, and in this one couldn't get the job done. So they'll be coming in first. One of 2 teams. There'll be a SmackDown match tonight to determine who's going to be coming in first from the SmackDown brand. And again, I don't know that it really matters. I think we all know who's going to win that match at this point. I'll be excited. I bet it'll be a good match. I bet it'll be fun to watch. I just don't. I'm not sure how worried I am about who comes in first or not. It just seems like it's pretty obvious that Sasha and Bailey are going to win. The next match was between Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor, and it started out really bad for Finn Balor and then got a little bit better for Finn Balor. There was a couple really nice spots in it. The match was eventually ended because Bobby Lashley interfered with Finn while he was up on the top rope, and the ref called the match. After the ref called the match, Baron, I said Baron, that's a bit of a spoiler, but so Bobby and Drew, they're beating on Finn, and Kurt Angle comes out to like save him and has a nice little heroic spot, and then after that, Baron Corbin comes out and has a nice little heel spot, and he clears the ring and beats up on Angle really good and beats up on Balor, and then after that, Braun Strowman comes out. And if you remember, if you watch, the shows often or whatever, or my thoughts about the stuff often, I said 3-4 weeks ago, I wonder if we're going to see any tag match kind of stuff between the characters in this group. And now we are. And the tag match was actually really good, featured a bunch of really cool spots. I wrote a couple of them down. See here. Well, Bobby Lashley, to end that match, actually gets a pin on Finn Balor, and Finn gets his foot up on the rope, and the ref doesn't see it. And so you think that that's just the end. But another ref comes out, tells the ref who was reffing the match, hey, look, man, you messed up. He got his foot up, and there's a big, hoopla about it. And eventually they restart the match. And once they restart the match, it's pretty much all Team Finn Balor. Eventually, Finn is looking for a tag. He's been beat up pretty good, finally, again, and he's looking for a tag, and there's no one there. And just as he's getting close to his side of the ropes, out pops up out of the stands, really, like the floor seats from behind the barrier. Out comes the monster among men, and he comes lurch toward the ring. He gets in there for that tag. He eventually hits Bobby Lashley with a running power slam, and it's pretty obvious that the match is over at this point. We're just waiting for the pin. He tags in Balor for the pin. Balor actually climbs up to the top rope, hits the coup de grace, then hits the pin. Then the match is over. It was actually a pretty crazy match. I'm often not a fan of these six-man tag matches that don't seem to do a whole lot for any one character, but I think these guys have been circling each other, all of them. Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor. They've all been circling each other for 3 months, it seems like. Going back to Survivor Series, maybe a little bit before that even. So it could be even longer than that. So it kind of felt like it was a long time coming in this particular case, and we'll see what happens with it going forward. But that felt like a good spot, and everybody involved, I feel like, had some good action for them. Drew had some good action in the one-on-one match. Bobby Lashley had some good action ruining that match. He also had some good action in the tag match. And Baron Corbin had some good spots with Kurt Angle and with Finn Balor and some heel stuff. Braun gets to come out looking like Kurt comes out looking like a legend. Finn Balor comes out looking relentless and like really tough, and Braun comes out looking unstoppable. And I just kind of feel like for everybody, this was actually a pretty good match. So the next thing, we have a little bit of a Kevin Owens sighting. Kevin Owens comes out on a pre-recorded. He's out bowling with his family or something, and he says that he's going to be back in a month. So that's really good. He says he doesn't know whether he's going to be on Raw or SmackDown, so that adds a little bit of drama. I'd like to see him on either show. I kind of feel like Raw misses him, but it'd be interesting to see him on SmackDown. It'd be interesting to see him involved with the United States title picture over there, even the heavyweight title over there, the SmackDown Championship, the WWE Championship. I can see him involved with that too. It's not that I can't or nothing, but I just really could easily see him getting involved in the United States title picture with the cast of characters involved with that title right now. So that's good. I'll be interested to see which brand he comes back to. I feel like either one, it'll be good to have him back. Rollins comes out. He points at the Mania sign a few times. Then Paul Heyman comes out. He spits all over everybody for a while. Seth basically comes out and says he has no fear for Brock. And he's going after the title. And that Brock has held the title hostage and all of the WWE fans hostage for 2 years. And he's sick of it, and he's not scared of him. Then Dean Ambrose comes out, and I don't know what to expect at this point. All he tells Seth is that he says, slay the beast. And that's actually a nice little spot. We have to appreciate these things while we get them. I'm a big fan of The Shield. I'm a big fan of Seth and Dean as brothers and as friends. And, that ended. But now it's ending for real, kind of, because Dean is apparently leaving. It really looks like he's leaving. And, I don't know what to think of that, really. I think he'd be great in AEW with Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and all them boys and Neville. And, I just think he'd be great. I hope that's what he eventually does, because it'd be good to see him on TV. I'm pumped for when AEW is on cable. Hopefully easy to watch, maybe even streaming somewhere like Hulu or something like that. Like I'm really pumped for it, and I'm pumped to see. I think it's like 4 months or something like that he has to wait after his contract expires. So it would be sometime in the summer, but I'm pumped to see what happens with him going forward. In the meantime, he had a match with EC3, and it was good to see EC3 against in a real match again. Well, I guess it was kind of a short match, which is a bummer, but it was good to see EC3 in a real match with a real talent and a real guy. And it's also just good to see Dean on TV. I mean, we got to take what we can get. If you're a guy who appreciates, or a guy or gal who appreciates Dean Ambrose, you got to take what you can while you can get it. So after the Dean match, we get a Raw Tag Team Championship match. And I got to say, it's the Revival versus Chad and Bobby. And who didn't see this one coming a mile away? I mean, the Revival have been involved in tag matches, like tag team championship matches, and losing in different ways for a couple of months now. And you put them in this match, and it's just like, okay, well, they're going to win tonight, or I'm an idiot for continuing to watch this stuff, right? And so they did. And it was actually, again, a tag match that was really good. I'm a little bit bummed out that Chad and Bobby aren't tag champs anymore, to be honest with you, because I actually really like the way they both work in the ring. I think it's a little weird that Chad is dressed like a mini Bobby. I still think that that's weird. I don't know why. I mean, I understand, like, you want to have like a uniform looking thing and you want to come out looking like a team, but Chad could have kept his singlet and just had it in the same colors as Bobby's colors with the little bedazzled things on it, and it could say Chad somewhere, and then he wouldn't look like he's Bobby Roode's son. He looks like he's Bobby Roode's little kid brother or something. It's weird. That said, they work really good in the ring. I think they have good tag team chemistry. Chad Gable had an awesome spot, a couple of awesome spots in this match, jumping off the top rope and doing flips and stuff. And maybe it's the singlet. Yeah, I know he's not in the singlet anymore, but follow me here for a second. Maybe it's the singlet. Maybe it's the long hair. Maybe it's the Greco-Roman wrestling background. But something about this dude just consistently reminds me of Rob Van Dam, who's one of my childhood heroes, especially being from Michigan. I mean, we love, wrestling fans around here love Rob Van Dam. We love him. I like Chad for that reason. He reminds me of RVD. So, like, it was a bummer to see him lose, but this was a good match, and we'll see if the Revival stick around just because they got the belts put on them. They're another, if you follow the news, they're another one of those teams that's rumored to be on their way out the door. In April, like after WrestleMania. So, it could be that maybe it's amicable. Maybe it's like it's a good split where they're like, well, I mean, we wish you'd stay and you're welcome to stay. But if you're going to leave, you've treated us right, we're going to treat you right. You're going to get a couple months as tag team champions before you go. We'll give you a match at WrestleMania. Maybe that's what's about to happen here. And then they'll lose the belts at WrestleMania to a different tag team. Maybe we'll have a new tag team kind of get hot at Raw in the meantime. Like that would be something I'd be interested to see if we have a new tag team get kind of hot and or at least get a lot of push in between now and WrestleMania, and have the Revival have the belts and have them use those belts to kind of put us over with a new group. That might be what happens ultimately. Either way, it was good to see that for them. They're a good tag team. They're entertaining tag team wrestling. The spot to end it when they hit their tag team finisher, which I can't remember what it's called now. I wrote it down actually. Shatter Machine, so I wouldn't forget, and then I forgot. They hit a shatter machine that looked really good. They got the pin. It was a good moment for them. And again, Bobby was like running his hands through Chad's head. It looked like he was consoling his kid or like his brother or something. It was weird. I mean, even Robin dressed a little different from Batman, right? And then we all thought that relationship was a little weird. Anyway, those are my thoughts about Raw. I'm a little pissed. And again, I know it's all fake, and I know that we're still going to see Becky in the tag championship, excuse me, in the Raw Women's Championship match. It's just looking more and more like it might be a triple threat now, which is a bummer, kind of. And it's looking more and more like a song and dance we've heard a million times. So, hopefully at least they play it well. It's a good song. It's a good song at the very least, as long as they know it and they play it well and maybe throw in a little bit of a surprise. It could be okay. I'm not saying it's all doom and gloom. It's just it could have been better, and I think we all know it. All right. I'll see you soon. Elimination Chamber soon. I'm going to talk about SmackDown tomorrow. And then I'll probably on Thursday, I'm going to talk about, I think we'll have a very clear picture by then of exactly what's going to happen in the Elimination Chamber match-wise. I think we know all of them now, but I'm not positive. We'll have to see tonight to see exactly what gets added to that card. And then I'll be able to talk about it a little bit more on Thursday. Just make a few quick predictions, and stuff like that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.